Welcome to Mesa Now. I'm your host, Chris Brady.
And I'm Lily King-Cisneros. You know, Chris, we have two great airports here in Mesa, one at Falcon Field Airport and the other one over at Phx-Mesa Gateway.
And what's remarkable is that both airports were opened on the same day, July 16, 1941.
And back then, they were actually training World War II pilots, but now they've come a long way.
They have. There's a lot more going on at the airports. And in this episode of Mesa Now, we're going to talk to both airport directors and learn about what's happening today at the airports. Additionally, we're going to be able to talk to Councilwoman Deena Higgins and Councilmember Scott Summers.
And I had the opportunity to go and visit with a few of the businesses located in and around the airport.
Stay tuned because Mesa Now starts right now. We'd like to welcome our first guest on the show today, Corrine Nystrom. Corrine, welcome.
Thank you.
Corrine is the Falcon Field Airport Director for the city of Mesa. We want to welcome her. So you've been with the city, how long? Almost 8 years?
Almost 7.5 years.
7.5 years, great. So since you've been at the airport, what have you seen changing? There's been a lot of changes, a lot of things going on. I know the airport's been there for a long time. What kind of things have you seen happening at the airport in the last 7.5 years?
Well, we've seen, as you said, a lot of things going on. We've done a lot of capital improvements at the airport. We've done a lot of work with the runways and the taxiways to help make them more efficient and improve the safety of our traveling public. We've also done some work on the land side, which is the area that's on the roadway system. Doing some work along in those areas to bring some improvements to that side of the airport as well.
So when we talk about Falcon Field Airport, some people may think of, oh yeah, that's that little airport up there in kind of northeast Mesa. But really, it's a very busy, active airport.
Yes,
Tell us kind of generally how it kind of ranks in the volumes of activity you typically see out there.
When you look at general aviation airports, which are the airports that don't have scheduled commercial airline service, Falcon Field always ranks within the top 10 busiest in the United States. So we really do have a lot of traffic going in and out of there.
Right. So I understand that at the airport we got a couple of different, I guess, categories of, maybe there's more than one or two categories of activity. You have your flight schools that are out there. You have what I would refer to as maybe recreational activity.
Right.
And anything else other than that? What other categories, what kind of activities would you describe beyond those two?
What's interesting about Falcon Field is that we actually have over 100 businesses located on the airport.
Okay.
And over 1,000 people work right there on the airport.
Wow.
We have, for example, MD Helicopters, which is a helicopter manufacturer. We have several aircraft maintenance and repair facilities. We have, and these are not easy to come by, we actually have an aircraft painting facility at Falcon.
Wow. Yeah.
And only a couple of those in the state. And just a variety of charter services, a lot of businesses coming in and out of Falcon Field. So it's really a good cross-section of the type of general aviation services that you would find at a healthy airport.
You mentioned MD Helicopters, and you also have a neighbor to your north. Actually, you actually have a bridge that connects you.
Right, and that's the Boeing facility where they manufacture the Apache helicopter, and they're also working on some of the unmanned aerial systems as well.
Very good.
So they're a huge employer.
So looking forward for the next 5 to 10 years, what do you see happening out at the airport?
Falcon Field's going to continue to grow. The general aviation industry itself is going through some challenges right now, just partly because of the dynamic of the industry is changing, but because of Falcon Field's location and because of the infrastructure that we have in place, for example, the 2 runways that we have, we are just in a prime position to be able to continue to grow and provide all of the types of general aviation services that anybody might want to utilize here in the Valley.
Okay, good. Do you expect, as far as capital improvements, what are some things we may be able to look for? Because I know you have some things that you're working on right now.
Yes.
That someone out at the airport that goes to that patronize the airport might begin seeing over the next year or so? What kind of capital improvements do you see happening here pretty quickly?
Well, on the air side, of course, that's a big priority for us because safety is always huge. We're going to continue to do some improvements to the runways and taxiways to not only increase their efficiency, but also to upgrade some of the other features that we have that will help enhance the safety that we already have. On the land side, we are in the process of finalizing an agreement with a consultant to actually design a renovation to the airport terminal building. And because that building has not been renovated for many, many years, and that's all part of our effort to take Falcon Field to the next level and just create some upgrades like the terminal building renovation, doing some signage upgrades, lighting upgrades, to just really enhance the airport so that when people arrive either on an airplane or if they're driving into the airport from the city, when they arrive at Falcon Field, they know that they're at Falcon Field.
Okay. And another way you know you're at Falcon Field is your big water tower.
Yes.
What's the status of that? What's going on with that?
Well, the water tower is definitely going to stay because it is an icon, and believe it or not, the pilots actually say that they use it to help them recognize that for sure they're at Falcon Field. We went out recently and got some public input from our citizens to find out what they might like to see us do with that airport or with the water tower in terms of repainting it, because it kind of needs to be, it's getting a little faded. And so they provided us with some amazing ideas and lots of a variety of ideas, and so we're looking through those and we're hopefully going to be working with the folks at the Mesa Arts Center to kind of finalize some potential designs and
high-class stuff here.
Narrow it down to 2 or 3 to pick from.
Very good. A lot of wonderful things going out at the airport.
That's great.
So thank you, Corrine, for being here. Up next, Lily takes us on a tour of the Commemorative Air Force Museum.
One of Falcon Field's largest tenants is the Commemorative Air Force Museum. If you haven't been down here before, you definitely have to check them out. Located right on the corner of Greenfield and McKellips, the CAF Arizona Wing holds the largest collection of World War II birds.
The Commemorative Air Force is made up of a little over 70 different wings, squadrons, or units, depending on how many airplanes they have, located in 26 states and 5 foreign countries, so we're an international corporation. We have 7 flying World War II planes. The most popular and the star of our show is the B-17 Flying Fortress Sentimental Journey. The aircraft you see right behind me is a B-25 Mitchell. That aircraft was in restoration for 28 years before we were able to fly it. Then we have a biplane, a Stearman. We have a T-6 Texan, as well as an L-16, a little puddle jumper, and the twin-engine C-45. And we do fly and operate and sell rides in all of those aircraft.
History buffs or just aviation enthusiasts can come down and see these high flyers up close and personal. Visitors can also peruse through all of the military memorabilia.
The young people coming in today really know very, very little about World War II. We are primarily an educational institution. We celebrate our heritage of freedom through flight, exhibits, memorabilia, and remembrance.
The Commemorative Air Force Museum Arizona Wing is celebrating its 35th anniversary and has been a permanent fixture here at Falcon Field.
It's unique. It's a nice airport. We have a very good relationship with the airport, and we're pleased to have them with us.
The museum is located at 2017 North Greenfield Road. Find them online at azcaf.org.
Welcome back. With me now is Councilwoman Deena Higgins. Deena, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chris.
So, we want to talk about a variety of things that are happening in your district. Let's first talk about Falcon Field. Today on the show, we've been talking about the airports. One of the airports in Mesa is in your district is Falcon Field. So, talk to us a little bit about what you see you know, the importance of Falcon Field in your district and for the city as that goes?
Well, Falcon Field, the numbers are such that I think it was like $1 billion+ generated from that couple square mile area.
Wow.
So that's huge, right?
Yeah.
You know, more people talk about the airport and flight schools.
Right.
But through the work of the city, working with the airport and the flight schools, we really worked through a lot of those issues and, you know, have much quieter neighborhoods than we used to have.
Sure.
It's just cool stuff. This last weekend we had a formation flying school. I don't know if you knew that.
I heard about that.
So that was fun, and it's, you know, the airport's doing a great job of letting everybody know that don't worry, there might be close flying planes in formation, and it's a school, and don't worry about it.
Right.
But it was very cool. Flew right over the house yesterday.
Right.
And
cool.
yeah, it's fun, but not to worry that they're bombing anything.
That's good. We have not.
We
no
are not
bombing
starting
runs
a war.
going
No,
on.
they're prop planes.
And Deena, I think a lot of people don't realize that District 6. 5, sorry.
That's okay.
District 6 is District 5 has one of the largest employers and really has a lot of jobs that are in District 5.
A lot, right.
With Boeing and MD helicopters, right? And then just all the activity around Falcon Field.
Waxy and
Yeah. So, I mean,
SBI.
not only is it known for some really nice neighborhoods, but there's a lot of jobs that are in your district.
yeah,
isn't that
and
right?
I can't remember that number. Do you know that number?
No,
I
I'm
know that
just saying-
Boeing's about 5,000 people.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
no, they're just under 5,000. You know, MD has maybe 300 or so. But I mean, it's just there's a lot of enterprise going on around that airport. So it's more than just my point. It's just more than just the planes going
Correct.
in and out. There's a lot of jobs that are taking place.
And you know, we weren't thinking about talking about golf courses.
Okay.
But, you know, in that same area has Longbow, which just hosted the
Yeah,
first
talk about that.
APGA, Ladies Professional Golf Association
Right,
tournament
good.
ever to come to Mesa.
Right,
So it was
right.
awesome. Big event, great.
turnout?
Oh, yeah, really well. The
Good.
weather was not as nice as it
Yeah,
could have been. A little
right.
cold, a little windy,
Right.
but no rain. And awesome, big turnout, and putting us on the map for the quality golf courses and amenities we have in the city.
Good point. There's a lot of
Yeah.
great golf courses.
There's a lot of great
in
golf
District
courses
5.
and views best in the valley.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. So give us an update. Last time we were here, we talked about iHelp. What's going on with that?
Well, iHelp again stands for I just had a space. Interfaith Homeless Emergency Lodging Program.
Okay.
So it's a plan for single homeless women where they meet at Paz de Cristo actually and get
Right.
picked up and delivered to one of the host church sites for the evening. And when we came, whenever the last time we chatted,
Right,
it
right.
was not fully 100%.
Yeah, you were
now
just
it
kinda
meets,
ramping up.
365 days a year.
Wow.
Which is great, and has been, last year I think they helped 350 unique people.
Right.
With
Wonderful.
shelter, and then not only that, but like helping with resumes, you know, find out what the problem is, why they're homeless,
Right.
and working with them. And a lot of people have gotten into jobs and permanent housing, and
Wow.
getting them back
What
on
a
their feet.
wonderful service. Thank you for your help in putting that together.
I'll tell you what, the cool part is the people that volunteer
Yeah.
that just are passionate.
Yeah.
Even the ladies that wash the sheets, you know, I mean,
Really?
they're so excited that they can help somebody.
Oh,
so
that's
it's
great.
like, yeah, it is really cool.
That is cool. Okay, you have a lot of other interests on the council that you follow. You've been involved with working with our utilities companies, and you've been able to get into some of the professional associations involved with that. Tell us about your experience with American
APGA, American Public Gas Association, which is a consortium of 750 publicly held gas utilities, which we are one of.
Right?
And it's very cool because they've never had an elected official on their board before.
Oh, that's true.
So they're gas guys, which means they're, you know, very conservative oriented and not taking any risks because
Right.
they're dealing with explosives, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. So I've actually brought a little bit of a fresh perspective to them.
Good.
Where they were not accessing all the public officials they work with on a daily basis.
Awesome.
With help
Yeah.
through. So there's been an ongoing issue through the FERC, which is the Federal
Energy Regulation
Thank
Commission.
you, FERC. And so we were able to push a resolution through National League of Cities.
Which you're a member of as an elected official.
Yes, member of the City of Mesa, and
Right.
I am the vice chair of the Energy, Environment, and Natural Resource
Oh,
Subcommittee.
see? Very
so
nice.
through that subcommittee, we worked on a resolution which we passed through the whole NLC, which is going to help communities across the country with their natural gas rates
Isn't that
from
nice?
overcharging.
You
yeah,
can bring
it's
all
very
that
cool.
connected together. That's great.
is very cool.
Wonderful. Okay, I know there's another area that you're very passionate about. It has a lot to do with your background as an engineer and your current studies that you're doing, but you're very concerned about what goes into the wastewater stream. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, it's very important. So, you know, in the old days, people said, well, you want to flush your unused medication down the toilet.
Right.
And there can be nothing further than the truth, because the wastewater treatment systems that we have in operation today do not handle chemicals like that. They weren't designed for it.
Right.
But in the old days, who knows? We didn't keep that. And I might be old days.
Right.
So,
well, there's a lot more toxic stuff too that's getting put in there, wouldn't you think, or is it about the same?
No, I guess we're using. There's more people, so we're using more pharmaceuticals,
Okay.
and then
Right.
hand sanitizer has chemicals in it, shampoos, everything you use. They call them PPCPs, pharmaceuticals and personal care products.
Okay.
They last for a long time
Okay.
in the environment, even after they go through the wastewater treatment stream.
Okay.
So the thing is, the worst thing though is the pharmaceuticals. They actually measure out in the water after it's treated and in the solids, the biosolids that are left behind. So we have those events called, what do we call them? Drug take-back days, or
Right.
we don't call it recycling. Prescription drug,
you bring
right?
their prescriptions to drop it off. Right.
So when you see those, you really need to come and bring your stuff, and do not put them in your wastewater.
That's where we want people to bring
Absolutely.
their expired pharmaceuticals, or they're not using. Bring them to those. We announce those recycling days or whatever we have. They can do that.
And it would even be better in a landfill than it would be flushing down your toilet.
Okay.
So, because landfills are lined and the water doesn't get into the water table and stuff, so
Okay.
you'd be better off.
So don't use the toilet as the option, is what
No,
you're saying.
and try to keep, I said jokingly, little Matchbox cars in your action figures too, because they cause problems down the way.
Yes, that's true. Very good point. Okay, we appreciate that. Deena, you've been on the council. What are just maybe give us a highlight of what you think what the council and you've been participating that you're most proud of in the last couple of years? Anything specific?
Well, the real excitement, I think, is the education push. I mean, there's nothing more important than educating the youth in Mesa and adults in all ages. But to be able to have options for our children, that they don't have to go out of state to go to school.
Right.
Because, two boys, they go out of state, they meet some girl, they never come home, right? That's, mother's worst fear.
Yes.
So, now we have options. And that, in the state schools, we have a really high quality.
Yeah.
While three out of four of our family members are currently enrolled at ASU. So
there you go.
I'm very happy with the education, and I am one of those. So the education thing, I just think is giving us a national presence. I go places and they go, oh, you've got all those universities coming. I'm like, yeah, isn't that great? How'd you do that? And then I got a chance to talk about how our council works with the city management and our economic development department, and how we get a bigger picture, and we're all working together, and we all agree on, putting Mesa on the map, because it's the best place on earth to live. Don't you agree?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
So, yeah, I would say the education thing has just been great. The iHelp thing, I think, is a really important thing about, just getting the community to back to that, I always say it's bringing, mission work to their front door. Like suburbia women, where do you have to go somewhere to find people usually. But now they're bringing people that need help right to you.
Right.
So it's really cool.
Well, you're tapping into a resource that's there and available to help out. Wonderful.
Yep, it's great.
Well, Deena, thank you so much for all you do for District
Chris.
5. We appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
I want to thank Deena for being on the show. We're switching gears now. We're going to talk about the Phx-Mesa Gateway Airport. Lily was able to check out a unique company that shoots people and cars from their C-130 cargo planes. Check it out.
Clear drop load. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, green light.
One of the unique businesses located at Phx-Mesa Gateway Airport is International Air Response.
The company has been in existence since 1976. We do basically 3 different types of business. Oil spill cleanup, we do military support work for the U.S. government, and then we do a lot of movie and film production. We made an attempt to diversify that customer base over the last several years, and it's worked really well. It's in government sector as well as private sector, oil industry as well as entertainment industry. So the more that we can kind of spread what we do across multiple different industries and branches of the economy, the more stable our company is, especially with the ebbs and flows that are going on economically right now.
Among the 50-plus tenants that call Phx-Mesa Gateway their home, there are also 3 commercial airlines, Allegiant, Spirit, and Frontier. They carry over 1 million passengers in and out of their terminals in a year.
businesses want to relocate here. The airport asset is excellent for their business. We have the land that can also be available for businesses to grow into. So those kinds of things, plus the environment with the cities, you know, it's a welcome. Businesses are welcome here, and we hope that they'll come look at us, and I think that they'll be happy with what they see and happy with the cities that work with them to help them make their business dreams come true.
We started out at Coolidge Airport. We'd been there since 2006, and we outgrew the location. We didn't have a facility where we could put multiple aircraft indoors at the same time. Working on an airplane in the Arizona summer is kind of a nice thing to be able to get out of the sun. So as our fleet grew and our customer base grew and the needs of our customers grew, we needed to have a facility that had some more infrastructure, longer runways, TSA controlled security, indoor parking for the aircraft essentially, larger workspaces. It was a necessity for the increasing amount of work that we were doing. It's a great location. It's just on the edge of the busy airspace in Phoenix. It's not in the center of the city, which is nice. You know, a lot of the work that we do, we don't like to have to deal with the difficulties that come with departing and arriving in a busy airport with a lot of airliner activity. So Mesa Gateway works better for us that way.
So the next time you see one of these C-130s flying overhead, they just might be shooting a commercial. And it's all located here at Phx-Mesa Gateway Airport.
Gateway has in 5 years gone from no passenger service to over 700,000 passengers leaving Gateway, and so that is tremendous. And then I think what I would say is that that's just the beginning. And so where we've been, it certainly has been a tremendous change, but where we are going will be even more exciting.
For more information, visit phoenixmesagateway.org, or to learn more about International Air Response, visit them online at internationalairresponse.com.
With me now is Councilmember Scott Summers from District 6. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So we've been talking about airports in the show today, and one of the largest airports, the largest airport that Mesa has, is the Phx-Mesa Gateway Airport, which is in your district. So let's talk a little bit about what that means in your district. What kind of activities have you noticed since you've been on council now? What are some things you've been seeing happening out at the airport of some significance?
Well, the airport is certainly the focal point of the district. What I've noticed, it's becoming a focal point for the entire region of the Southeast Valley. We went from, for all intent and purposes, no flights coming out of Phx-Mesa Gateway to passing 1 million passengers in 2010 to looking at 1.2 million passengers annually flying out of that airport on 3 airlines. We've increased the number of jobs at that airport just this year. I believe the number's 8% increase in the number of jobs. We have companies like Able Engineering providing high-wage jobs in engineering, aerospace engineering, electrical, mechanical engineering on the airport. So it is becoming the job hub that we had envisioned it to be just in 2006.
Now, if I recall, in your past life experience, you worked in the Air Force, correct?
I was in the Air Force.
Did you ever spend any time at Williams Field at all?
I had the opportunity to travel to Williams Field.
Okay.
I didn't work there, but I do
you were there,
remember.
You remember when it was with the Air Force. So it's come a long ways.
Well,
is that correct?
and I also went to ASU Polytechnic back when it first started.
There you go.
That's where I received my bachelor's and my master's degree from that. And I remember a lot of the old World War II buildings were still there as ASU Polytechnic was born. So it was interesting seeing that transition from World War II style wooden dormitories to now this the sustainable building design. Very modern design.
That's right. So like you mentioned, we've seen passenger service is certainly growing out there. We're seeing some job creation from some of the major tenants out there. You've talked a little bit, what do you see as kind of long-term visions for the airport? What do you imagine is going to happen, say, the next 5 to 10 years? What do you imagine will happen out at the airport?
Well, we could certainly expect continued growth at the airport, both for jobs as well as flights coming in and out of Phx-Mesa Gateway Airport. Passenger terminals and cargo as well. We're going to, I think in the next 10 years, really have to look at establishing infrastructure and a new terminal on the east side. This is something that we've been talking about and planning for over the past 10 years.
Right.
But we're not actually going to have to do it. We have run out of physical space to park passenger aircraft on the west side. So that is going to be the next step in Phx-Mesa Gateway Airport.
Good point. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the airport, and that's a focus point of our show overall today. But you're now in your second term on the council. Let's talk about some other things that are going on in the district. Some highlight, maybe kind of help us understand. We've seen First Solar come out of the ground, and it's out there. East Mark's under construction. Any other things that you would like to visit about? Maybe some highlight, let people know what's going on in District 6.
It's an interesting difference between my first term and my second term. My first term seemed to be very much about planning, financing,
right.
and how are we going to build the type of infrastructure, roads, fire stations, airport terminals.
Right.
How are we going to create 100,000 high-wage jobs or encourage 100,000 high-wage jobs out in the Phx-Mesa Gateway region. The second term seems to be getting it done. We've seen tremendous improvements in our roads. We've opened several fire stations. State Route 84 went from paper to financing, is now under construction. We are on our third terminal expansion in almost as many years. We've seen, again, Able Engineering coming in. A lot of that planning is actually being built now. We can see it. I think to have all that in just a 6-year period is pretty incredible.
Absolutely. And you've laid the groundwork for other things to take place in your district with the Parks Bond Program. The opportunities to expand Monterey Park is out there. And then in the future, as we move forward with the water treatment plant out at Signal Butte and Elliott, we'll see a park out there. So there's a lot of good things that have gone on in District 6 over the last, like you said, 6 years.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Parks Bond is going to be very important for the district. We're going to look at three new parks.
Oh, that's
from
right.
that.
I forgot about the Medina and Halls
All right.
Road
There's
one.
3 new parks, and one park that exists now will become a regional park, and we just haven't seen that type of activity on the east side in quite a long time. So it's exciting.
Right. Okay. Well, very good. We appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So Chris, light rail construction is progressing, and we'll see it coming through downtown Mesa. And there's been some concerns about accessing the Main Street businesses, right?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. I mean, we see the construction today west of Country Club. There's going to be a lot of disruption that's going to take place as they move construction of light rail into the downtown core area. So we can't, we know there's going to be a lot of disruption, a lot of heavy utility work, and then eventually bringing the light rail lines in. So what we're suggesting to everyone who's going to be coming into downtown, we want them to come and still patronize their favorite restaurants and businesses downtown. And we have a program that allows everyone, if they will, when they come into downtown, instead of coming down Main, they can go off to First Street or First Avenue. And we have tons of parking behind all those downtown businesses. And we invite them to come and park behind the businesses, and then it's an easy walk to the businesses and to be able to help those businesses make it through this difficult time.
And plus the parking is free too. We're not charging anybody for 2-3 hour parking, so they can come down, use the back door.
Right, and we want everyone to know that it's very accessible. Not a lot of people know how much parking is back there.
Yeah.
Lots of parking. And there's a lot of alleyways that come through some of the buildings. You don't necessarily have to go to a street, but there's a lot of access points that can get you out onto Main Street. So, and many of the businesses actually have doors or access points from the back of what is perceived as the back of their business. So we want to help these businesses out, so we invite everybody to come downtown and enjoy a restaurant, again, a business in downtown, and there's easy access, and we'll have lots of signage to help people find their way down here.
And residents can always go to Valley Metro's website if they have any questions or concerns about the light rail construction. So Chris, we had a really full show today.
We did, and we'd like to thank all of our guests who came on the show.
And be sure to log on to mesanow.org for more information, and we will see you next time.